Let's build and review this articulating cement truck from 1985. Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome back to Bricks. This set is another one of my early childhood favorites. I have very vivid memories of having this truck, so when I found it on Bricklink, I had to pick it up. This is set number 6682, the cement mixer. It has 90 pieces and one minifigure. Let's look at these pieces. So the instructions fold out into a double-sided vertical pamphlet. I think it's kind of interesting right off the bat. The guy has this sort of stretched appearance in the face. I guess the rendering was a little off maybe, but there it is. That can be forgivable. The minifigure has a great uniform here. He's got his black overalls. Very simple, classic, but very effective for what it is. And then he's got his little red hard hat. Ready to get to work, bud? Put him off here to the side. So the chassis is articulating in the middle, which I think is interesting. And it uses this great old hinge piece. I remember finding this on some space sets and others back in the day. Let's start out with that. Very smooth operating. And immediately we're going to flip it over. And we're given this other classic piece that's a hinge piece that you're really not getting apart unless I guess maybe you drive that pin out. But this was used on a few sets, and I don't think it lasted much longer than 1985. This is definitely a very early 80s, maybe even late 70s piece. But as we'll see, it works. And then three piece here, 3-piece nugget, and we've got the old wheels with the metal axle, and this one's in good shape. These two are a little rusted, actually very rusted, but they still roll just fine. So we'll put the rusted guys in the back. It's a little hard to tell where you want them. Okay, so I'm just going to go from that as my vantage point there. Just with the isometric view, it's a little unclear. Okay, this is good. Now you flip it over. So we pieces out of the way, so we've got a nice little workspace. The truck, and on the back we get another great fender piece. With the rounded, well, not rounded, but hexagonal sort of, or even, I guess if you were to carry it out, it'd be octagonal angles. And just put us over the first one on that one. The front gets the square one, more traditional one. And then we're filling up the gap in the frame with the 1x2. The rear, we're going to build out the lights, and I didn't think they had the round stud lights then. It might just be a misconception I had from growing up. I thought the rounded lights came later, but maybe they were new around this time, in the past year or two. So those little tidbits of information that might be good to know. We're just building on the back. This classic blue. I'm hoping this blue isn't too brittle. I know there is a brittle blue out there. And these blues are actually a little different. So I have to wonder if one of these pieces, if maybe this is just worn. No, well, the underneath is the same too. Different, slightly different shade. I feel like this is the more classic shade, and these maybe are newer pieces. Yeah, this looks like these are perhaps newer just because of the shade of the blue. So not entirely accurate, but it's really not the end of the world. It would be nice to have all the right colors, exact color, but this blue is definitely the older blue here. 1x2 across here. And then we're stacking up. Ooh, I didn't totally get it. It was partially assembled in bags, so I guess I missed those. But 2 1x2s on there. And then, yeah, that looks like is that the right blue? Yeah, it's a blue brick and some more 1x2s across here. Build up the cab. The front gets these inverted slopes. Very common in their day and age. I guess they still are now, but I feel like they were kind of a staple before some more specialized pieces came out. Nice white contrast here, the white across here. And blue steering wheel. I just love the way it's come together already. Now in front we get this nice print piece. Before there was really textures. There was this print. And that's going to go on the front, act as the grill. I think it's effective for what it is. And then we're gonna use the side stud pieces here. One, that's gonna be where the control goes. So 1x2 and a 1x1. And that's it for the first side. Just flip it on over. All right, so now we're getting into more of the cab. Again, just some classic pieces. I feel that this set is a solid little set, built well with obviously the classic techniques, but I really think that this was a bit of a golden age for Lego. Lego's had several, don't get me wrong. I think we're in another one at the moment too, where they're really just hitting their stride, and I think that this was around that time as well too. After the minifigure had come out, they've been doing the minifigure for half a decade, and really kind of figured out the scale of vehicles for the time. And this is it. Okay, so that's interesting. So we're going to overlap the hinge a little bit with this white brick. I feel like these chunkier bricks you're not really going to get in sets anymore. I could be wrong there, but these just definitely have that early 80s Lego feel when they were still very bigger brick based as opposed to the more fine details. I love the look of the square lights on the front. Look at that. So we've got this great little blue and yellow Blue Angels colors here for the control stick. My stepdad drives a gravel truck for a cement company. I wonder if he would appreciate this one. Were we missing? Oh no, I thought we were missing a 1x2, but that's it's because the big stud is coming through there. So it's nice to see that we have the doors here even now. Again, just one of my favorite pieces. So much great play value and looks and everything else. And a 1x2 in here. Some faded yellow in this, but honestly, I don't mind it. It kind of gives a throwback to that age. I almost mind the new blue more than I mind the faded yellow. Faded white, rather. Yeah, it's definitely yellow. All right, so now we're gonna build the cement truck part. We got these great old hinges. I feel like these were used a lot in the early 80s, and then they really kind of got away from them. I remember seeing them in space sets and others, but the way we're going to use it here is hook onto the back. It's quite a bit of a stretch in that one. This one is definitely tighter. And this one, yeah, if you look, wow. All right, so this is the lighter blue, and I feel like this is the original piece, and this might be newer pieces, and that's why this is tighter and that's looser and also darker. Interesting. Again, not a serious complaint, but it is, if you're a purist, this might be an issue for you. Now I feel like forensic scientists. I want to look at all these pieces super close. I mean, it definitely wasn't the most expensive set that was for sale. I tend to go for the cheaper ones because as long as all the pieces are there and most of the stickers are there, I'll be happy. So now we're putting on this great classic hinge that's seen in a couple other sets, like a fire truck, a ladder truck, as well as I'm sure countless others. Oh man, I remember building this. Yeah, I remember building this. Wow. With all these quarter round pieces. Is there enough? Oh yeah, I thought there was another stack, but it's this part. Man, were these new at this time? I feel like maybe these were new. I mean, this is when I first get into Lego, so I don't really know intimately what was beforehand, but they just feel like a nicely designed piece, stepping out of the traditional blocky style. I remember putting this together. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It's funny, I transported back, how many years? 30 years, something like that. That would be 35 years. That's scary. Forget how old I am sometimes. I guess it's good. And then we got this cone piece on the top. Man, that looks the part. And even more so when we get it on the back of the truck here. Oh, I've done something wrong. This is, my apologies here. These lights actually go back and cover the hinge, which is a nice touch. And then the mixer goes here. And then we've got a little round stud here that acts sort of as the smokestack for the I guess this one's not running off the power takeoff. This is running off its own motor. Yellow smokestacks. I don't know how realistic it is, but that creates a nice look with the toy, with the blue and the white and the black, and now this nice yellow accent. That's a solid look. And we have the older style glass, the clear glass, versus the light blue tint. Oh yeah, that feels legit. Legit old Lego. Now the roof hinge. Again, I feel like the roof is newer than the other part here. Maybe it's just my eye sphincters. Looks a little better on camera. This gets, oh wow, look at that. Okay, I was wondering what all those flat bricks are for. That's the cement. That I don't remember. Yeah, there we go. Oh man, that's so good to see. And then we got this cone at the top to complete the stack here. Oh, that's great. And then a bunch of flat tiles to go in here. See if you can see in there. Yeah, you can see pretty good. Ooh, missed. Get the cement in there. Mix that up. Wow, look at that. That's fantastic. But then it also lifts up to dump, which is great. It makes a mess of pieces everywhere. So this has a little bit of an angle to it. Kind of just set it. I think it's more for visual aesthetics and placement. But the actual dumping is done by lifting up the whole assembly. There we go. Gotta find that one on the floor again. The door is also open, which, as I've said in many videos before, this is one of my favorite parts. It just gives so much play value to the set. The roof opens to get the figure in and out. Oh, lost his pants. Tends to happen when the torso and pants have been used on so many times over the years, they get a little loose, but the studs on the bottom of the pants tend to stick more. I think the design is very clean, straightforward, simple. I think the articulation can be realistic depending on what type of cement truck it is, and it just, even if it wasn't, it just adds so much play value for a little kid to be pulling this around and turning this around, and even just as an adult, just to have a setup, it just looks like it's doing something when it's articulated. The fact that this easily opens and closes and doesn't have a lot of stick with the studs, I think is fantastic. You know, I'd be afraid that would stick and you have to really pry and something would break, but it doesn't. It opens nicely. I think it's a pretty realistic looking set with the lights sticking off the back, and then this part, you know, for this type of cement mixer, it's pretty good. Of course, they didn't have this piece at the time, but I think a shovel would have been a perfect add. All right, that does it for another classic set. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more, plenty more to come. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. But as always, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, let's get back to bricks.